Fast forward, you come watch channel your social media. Say how seen a FunnTV GH podcast stories that really go is making headlines. Any Gemini na EDB as some or any Dimia Rasimu say any AD can you miss so which must subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell, share now a front so answer into me and can be any Dimia Rasimu, your mom Ryan Simu a year a doctor Tony Edu na one so what you mean I hit hard on some of the political aspirants are more epic to me about abeye umampin ewomaimu na jina live television so it me a kind of playing say ebinum wo hwa adwene no eyese ihwehwem adintia o se bi oson se bi enyaado adwene enye adwuma obi ti se chida uboni din plane enye plane fan say at wo die ba de pa nso de hunu pa na hunu ya wo say obedrechi airport from Nkran to Kumasi. Now what what happened to the mineral resources was assassin so when is some who pia papa no itimi ekanya ho behia se bowra na so ye ni hu ne yakone de ba abra wagimre na wodi ewura entity efa politics so ye mo na so ye
or whatever.
Yes.
Who is going to dredge the sea to Kumasi?
You find that funny?
It's crazy. As you dredge the sea to Kumasi, will the sea not submerge the natural resources on its way to Kumasi?
Maybe he will create canals.
He will create canals.
Possibly so.
And the sea will not overflow the canals. How deep is the canal? And then, at the same time, he's going to utilize the natural resources of the country for our growth and development.
That's right.
So obviously, he's going to hire divers to go and rescue the natural resources that are being submerged under the sea. How did we get here?
How did we get here?
Presidency became so cheap that all kinds of crazy people want to be president.
Crazy?
Yeah.
Who are you referring to as crazy?
If you want to dredge the sea to Kumasi, are you not crazy?
Is it not maybe you are not looking in his light or spectacle? Maybe.
Which light? Which spectacle? Where is the sense?
So he thought to
we dredge the sea upstream. The sea is not upstream where you are dredging it downstream. It's upstream.
Okay.
And the vegetation will be there in the pathway of the sea to Kumasi, just so that you can facilitate trade by freight, by ship. How can Ghanaians sometimes be so daft as to listen to such crazy nonsense?
What did your era do so well as far as politics is concerned that we, the current generation, are not getting it right, making it difficult for us to advance in development?
We were modest. We never stole. You should go and see how some of our people live. The former chairman of the Council of State, Cecilia Johnson, she has a very small house. Go and see the kind of establishments that are being put up by the MPP apparatus and functionaries. We never sold state lands to ourselves. We never engaged in dubious contracts. Of course, we have people who went to jail, not because they pocketed money themselves, but because the law said they were reckless in the management of public funds. So they were guilty of causation of financial loss to the state. In fact, this law alone will drown 90% of the current MPP members. We will go and dig a hole to build a cathedral at the cost of 38 million.
58.
58.
Yes.
Akroma FM.
and it becomes a swimming pool, have you not caused financial loss to the state?
Sure.
Now, how can we allow you to walk? How can we allow you to walk? Kwame Sifra and Sipayanki and others who went to jail, there was no evidence that they pocketed even a single penny. And yet, because under their stewardship, money was wasted. We had to suffer the consequence. That's what we call recklessness. But you deliberate, intentionally chop the money. You chop the money. You not only chop the money, you also engage in frivolous expenditure, living like an Arabian king. Look, I travel all over the world with John Rawlings. We use the F-28 all the way to Jamaica. We made 4 stops. Never once did he hire a private jet, and the luxurious ones as well.
Okay, sir. We are thankful that we had your chance to speak with you. But any advice for John Mahama?
He has been a president before.
Fast forward, the Mamma was his wajim rate of his mom say how say a year FunnTV GH political stories are training because making headlines and a gym and you be exomo and you young brush you and then a did can you so but you subscribe to the channel. Hit on notification bell, share up for phone so answer into me and can be without seeing me share one yoke say what me I answer a mammy. I had my like show and so commenting so we hear me. Now, Dr. Tony Edu and Menoka say, what me I hit hard on some of the aspirants are more epe or man paying organ housing. Now, in some more king and I said, we be no monka say, money, any moon tit a be a moon nemwa, na in some fatasa Ghana, upon umbit me ejina, a yesim pin so I can say, a day, or more ebe pep to me. Se ombre oman pain uhwe obi se akuya donko waso onimpo de ense senka ebe yisi krampo agene krata krase wagena tumse senti sanso na uhwe obi se chida ninsema okika no dedi pefi se papa no na dwene ehwim we ni sema hodoa papa itimi eka na ochane yesu se ho obi hia se onso utibia medo ekona so yesisi
a political acumen yourself. You have transitioned several regimes politically. To me, never ever in history is it told, except that you want to coach us now, that political giants, or if like arms of government, such as the parliament, will raise or rise ugly horns against the judiciary and vice versa. What has been the contributing factor?
Parliament hasn't raised any ugly horns against the judiciary.
Okay.
It's the judiciary that is assaulting the
Parliament.
No, not the judiciary is not fighting Parliament. It is fighting the Constitution. That is what is happening.
So Parliament hasn't erred in anything. It's judiciary that has erred.
What is the errors of Parliament? It has standing orders. It is following the standing orders. The Speaker is operating in strict accordance with the standing orders. And the Supreme Court forget that the standing orders have equal power as the Supreme Court itself, because both are creations of the Constitution.
No, because some legal luminaries have intimated that it is the judiciary that is clothed with the powers of interpretation. And so, because the matter was before them, the Parliament House was supposed to go along with what the determination of the Supreme Court was.
What is there to interpret? An act that is so clear that even a blind man can see, in both words and spirit, and we want to interpret it. Well, if we want to exercise its powers of interpretation, then there is only one way of interpreting it, what we call purposive interpretation. And purposive interpretation here demands that you don't just sit in your chamber and construe what those who framed the provisions meant. You have to go and refer to the debate as it took place during the Consultative Assembly, what we call the Hansard of the Consultative Assembly. Read the debate, and then you will realize what did they have in mind, what did they want, how did they foresee how the provision should operate, at what time should it kick in, and so on and so forth. That is what you should do if you want to interpret. But unless you want to interfere, then you stay out. Let the matter go to the High Court. Let those people you say have their right to protest, let them go and seek the ratification of their rights at the High Court. There is so much contradiction between the Supreme Court and its judgments. The people of South for 4 years have been denied their representation.
That's true.
It hasn't bothered you. Jackie Kesi and Asin people were denied representation, and it was all due to you, the same Supreme Court, and your decisions that denied them. But then, when 4 parliamentarians fall the Constitution and the provision kicking, then you say their rights have been violated. This is nonsense.
Sir, can you please tell us what do you make of the combination, consequence, or effect of the president's continuous packing of the courts as against what the national, I think currently the Minister for Defense, Albert Kandapa, said, with reference, National Security Minister, I beg your pardon, said that the current state of happenings is a recipe for chaos. What are the combining effects as far as our security status quo is concerned?
Fascism. Capture all the state apparatuses and use them as your agents. That is what is called fascism.
Wow. Finally, before you go, what are the chances of NDC in these elections as against Dr. Bawumia and the other presidential aspirants in contest?
Up to the Ghanaian electorate, as they are saying, compare the standard of living and the cost of living during Mahama's time and today. See how the cost of living has risen. Look at the policies that are being churned out.
Inti wisi ensema horo iti because wachana no so mamna wasis se wojemre ewa dasa ni so body ni dia dum yania e besamba ram netumi de chasing so etimi asom shano so am se ahose FunnTV GH.